Hi everyone, it's Katherine Skaggs, and it is June 28th, 2022, and it's the new moon in Cancer energy. We've got a lot going on in our world. We've had some major changes with the Supreme Court in the United States. We've got a lot of division again. Perhaps it's always been there, it's coming to the light. And this energy with that Cancer moon is very feeling energy. So we are going to see what these energies are bringing us over the next month, where we can begin anew, where we can clean out the things that make us bereft or angry or, out of sorts emotionally, where we can come back to our centers and we can refocus, where we can set some intentions, plant some seeds, create a new foundation and a full-on reset so we can create a new reality. One that's born of tenacity and heart and just doing what is right for ourselves collectively and individually, finding harmony. How do we do that? So I'm going to ask the goddesses of the mythical goddess Tarot and all the cards to help us to find our way, to find our hearts, to navigate these energies, to set a new pattern that's born of love, to set a new pattern that is born of freedom, to set a new pattern that supports all human beings, and to find our way. So I'm going to do a 15-card spread, and we're going to see what the goddesses want to say. I'm moving some things out of the way here. All right, let me set these cards out to see who wants to talk to us. The first three cards are always about who are we at this time? Who are we in response to these energies personally, collectively, in our countries, in our states, in our bodies, in our minds? Who are we? And then the next energies have to do with the bigger picture, our challenges, the action we need to take to find harmony, and then the outcome. So this pattern may be speaking to something much larger than 30 days. It could be to 6 months or a year. And let that resolve itself and show us. Okay, I shuffled the cards really well, but these cards came up earlier, so I know that these cards are really important for us to trust in the divine and trust in the plan, as it seems like we've regressed in so many ways about freedom. And yet, things are coming out of the closet. We're having to find strength and light within ourselves. And right at the center, we've got the Passion card. It's a water card. Guess what? It's a Cancer card. It's Cancerian. It's feeling emotion, full of water, full of light. And you know what she's doing? She's reaching for that flower, which is passion flower. And the moon's behind her, so it's very lunar energy, so it's pretty perfect for what we're doing, even though we're in the new moon. And she's fully expressing her emotion in passion. So it tells me we're very passionate right now. I don't care which side of the fence you're on, because we've got duality going on. We've got belief systems that are powerful. We've got high emotions taking place. And it's really important that we take a look at, getting some things out of my way, gang, on my computer that are processing as I'm trying to talk to you. Sorry about that. So this passion, this is maiden energy. So maiden is growth. It's the teenager. We got a lot of teenage emotions going on, high passions, high energy. And it's time for us to look at what we love. No matter how challenged you are with the times that we're in, you have the capacity to focus. We have the capacity to focus on our passions and to let them be our power. Let them be what keeps our hearts open. Let them be part of what gets us to be free in ourselves, so we can be free in the world around us, and we can create a society that has greater freedom and love and passion in it. So that's our foundation going into this time period with the new moon. Let that be our focus to carry our dreams and our intentions forward, is to be passionate about creating through open-heartedness and positive emotions. Clean out the stuff that's negative, clean out the stuff that's fear, and come back to that place of heart so that you can reach for a higher goal. We got 2 goddesses on either side of the passion card, of that emotion card, of that seas. We've got alchemy. So alchemy is Bridget. She is all about art, creativity. This is our gift. This is how to manage these times. It is in us that we can take the difficult, we can take lead of these challenges and turn it into gold. When we add our magic, when we add that passion and we add our focus and we get creative and say, well, can it be different in these times? What are we going to do different? What is our wisdom? And let that be the magic, that we are the magicians, that we come together personally and collectively to alchemize the situations at hand in our personal lives and in the bigger picture. We have to learn to do this no matter what we're facing. We've got to become creative. And in doing so, we're going to create gold in our lives no matter how much shit is going on around us. So this as a foundation is telling me that we've got more on our foundation to create change than what it may appear at times. Things are not exactly as we believe them to be in our conscious mind. There's a bigger divine picture, and it's up to us to be creative and passionate about how we move forward in this new moon energy. Another beautiful goddess sitting here with these 2 powerful cards is ecstatic union. This is Shakti. She's life force. She is about coming together with our spiritual selves and our physical selves. This is not just about having a mate. It's absolutely beyond that. This is about our capacity to be united with ourselves spiritually so that we can bring that into our physical reality, to be wise, to be connected, to be centered in that kundalini energy that transforms challenges, that transforms misunderstandings. Let's find that within our very beings as we work with this place of planting seeds for change, and realize that we've got the capacity and the strength and higher mind, higher divine energies. We've got blessings that are here to help us, and they come from within us. Everything's within us, and it's united. So let's work on that energy to change our personal lives, to change ourselves, so that we can dream positively and have courage to make change in the most beautiful ways that is harmonious. Let's not fight. Let's have the capacity to make change through our own creative divine beings and to bring that forward in our lives in every which way. So, it's really interesting as much chaos is in the world. In the bigger picture, there's something else taking place, folks. We need to focus on what we want. And in the bigger picture, what we really want is joy. This is a card of emotional freedom. This is a card of being connected to the light, being connected to our emotions, being connected to our sensuality and our playfulness. And that's in the big picture, meaning that not only today, but over the next month, in the next cycles with the moon, over the next 6 months with this cycle, and beyond that, we're here to find emotional joy that comes with freedom to be ourselves. So we need to trust how to work with our emotions and to open up our heart spaces is part of the big picture to find harmony and resolution in the places that are challenging us. It's not always easy, but we need to focus and be willing to commit and be tenacious toward finding the joy within us and creating it in the world around us. No mistake that we got the alchemy and these fire energy of the ecstatic union. We've also got a fire card, crone, which is the wise one, and transmutation. So in the big picture, this crazy world that we're living in right now, from finances to the rights about our bodies, women's bodies, everything you can imagine, to war in the Ukraine, to beyond and beyond and beyond. There's so much up right now. So the big picture tells me that we're going to rise from the ashes, that we're going to become wise, and we're going to alchemize the situation. We're going to take that from our own beings that we have the capacity to lift up into the light, that we're going to rise above the situation. We're going to bring higher understandings and wisdom. And we're going to shift out of unconsciousness to bring in light and consciousness and to lift up into a higher state of being. It's time to use our fire, do fire ceremony, transform and transmute the yuck that we're struggling with. And again, it's within us to do this. It's our task. It's our destiny to rise up and burn away the things that divide us and that put us in fear. So let's bring in the light. Literally, we've got another goddess here. We've got the sun card, Amaterasu. And she is all about, in this big picture, illumination. Personal illumination, illumination of our situation, illumination in our relationships, illumination in the big whole. We need to bring in this light, and it's here for us. That's what we're striving for, is to get out of the shadows and to move into the light, to know who we are, and to find greater harmony and joy. So far, as crazy as our world looks, the goddesses are telling me there's something positive transforming here through something that looks pretty scary for a lot of people. Perhaps for our whole world, it looks scary. Doesn't surprise me. Okay, so we've got a lot of help here. We've got, excuse me, we've got a lot of goddesses, and I shuffled and shuffled the cards. There's 78 cards. So when there's many of the 22 goddesses in a 15-card spread, it tells me we have divine help. And that the challenges that we have, that we've got a lot of support to help us raise up and become more conscious in how we think and how we feel and how we work in our world, how we bring it to earth, into our human experience. So right at the center is a mental suit card. It's the wind. It's the 2 of wind, which is balance. And you notice on one side it looks like dark in the nighttime. On the other side it looks like daytime or light, the subconscious and the conscious minds. And there's these hearts that are in the center, weaving it all together like DNA. So this is a card of balance mentally. So right now we need to look at our thoughts and our beliefs. This is our challenge, and it's our learning. It's our opportunity to become wiser and learn how to look at both sides of the issue, to find the center, to look at what's within us, what's within our own thoughts and our beliefs, and bring them into the light so that we can honor our wisdom that is within us, within the unknown or the subconscious, and bring it into our consciousness, and to have a balance between our inner selves, our inner world, and the world at large, our conscious way of striving in this world. So we're trying as a species to find balance right now. It looks pretty ugly, to tell you the truth. It's a huge challenge to find balance with yourself, to find balance with your neighbor or your partner, to find balance with how you think about what's going on in the world and what you want to do with it. So let's bring in that energy of Libra and balance and work with that consciously with this new moon energy, to plant seeds that you're going to find greater balance, that we as a collective are going to find greater balance, where we can have understanding that we bring forward in the way we walk in our worlds from our mental capacity. It's interesting. We got 2 more goddesses here. I'm telling you, we got a ton of divine support. Uzume, which cracks me up, that she is in the challenges, and she is the fool. She is truly the wise one, who she knows that when we go into the cave because it's dark and we're scared and we're upset, is that she's here to remind us to lighten up and to bring the light back into the situation, to have a sense of objectivity and humor. Doesn't seem like we want to be humorous on our human part of ourselves, but on a soul level, there's something else happening, and our lightness, our ability to step away from fixing the situation, not to let it go, but to step into the light and to recognize that the sun will come back around, that the cycle will come back around, where we can dance and we can be playful. And that actually is something that we need. It's going to be a challenge to find any sense of levity in the situation. But she's here to help us, to trust that we are protected, to trust that the light will come back, and that we need to get out of our serious, judgmental selves so that everything can relax and we'll find our way. But that's our lessons, that's our opportunities, and it's going to be challenging. But once you know your challenges, then you can start working on them with your intention, and with clear intention, things will change because you can make choices around that. We've also got the Pleiadian star goddess. And if you notice, this beautiful goddess from the heavens is pouring light and stars down upon this little bitty human on the earth. This is Aquarian energy. And it tells me that in our challenges, we are struggling to bring in a higher way of being. This way of being that's given to us from the divine is being poured upon us. Love is being poured upon us. Opportunity, abundance, our destiny is lining up and coming for a new way of being. And right now, we need to position ourselves into a receptive state is part of the deal, because if we get challenged and mired in the anger or the frustration or the blame or the fear, we close down and we can't let it in. So there is something coming our way from invention from the heavens that allows us or guides us into finding our answers, into creating a new destiny, a new world, and a new way of being for ourselves, for our relationships, and for the world at large. Because we've got a lot of stuff that we're struggling with in this reality. And so there's a lot of help. And so take time to meditate, take time to open to possibility and potentiation, to feel and sense into something more potent than what has been before and what is appearing as now. And we will create a new destiny. We need to do this together. We got to do it for ourselves personally. And then when we do this, that matrix of new thought, of new ways of being will begin to come into our reality. And that's our opportunity. All righty. What's our action? I've already mentioned some action here, but there's specific action that we need to bring to Earth to help us navigate these times and to bring in new energy, new life, to bring in new ways of being that bring the light back, that bring our joy back, that help us transmute trauma and fear and all the things that are in our face right now, in our bodies and in our emotions. You know, the first thing, I worked with this in a class tonight, is boundaries. Especially if you feel very sensitive and emotionally reactive to what's taking place. You need to ground yourself. You need to set a circle. You need to set up some boundaries and not let all the fear in. If you're empathic, which most of you probably are, you probably feel it all. You probably feel like, oh, I mean, for 4 nights now, I've had a hard time sleeping. I've felt the angst of the world. And so it's really important to go and clear yourself, to go ground, to go get into nature, to know what your yes is, to know what your no is. If there's things you don't agree with that are bombarding your world, you need to take a step back and choose. Choose what's okay and what's not okay for you, and set some boundaries up. And work with that with love. Work with that in a manner that you feel safe because you're in a loving environment and you can make choices that are from that balanced mind and not just a reactive place. You may literally need to clean your space and set some perimeters. It's just like a good garden. If you've got rabbits around or deer, you want a fence so that they don't get into your garden and eat everything that you're trying to grow. So we need to protect ourselves by choosing to focus on love, by choosing to focus on truth, and to take action based on integrity within our very beings, that we're going to do something different than just become a mess in a puddle. with the world at large. Turn within and know who you are, and then make choices to set your life in agreement with what makes you harmonious. And then work with that, and you'll know what those boundaries are. Right next to that, it makes sense, cleansing. We need emotional cleansing. Oh yeah, the world's a mess, we're emotionally messy, and we need to release. We did some recapitulation in my class tonight, and we released emotionally. We need to, every place that we are triggered by a person and experience that was yesterday or today or 10 years ago or 50 years ago or who knows, another lifetime, we need to be willing to purge our anger. We need to be willing to purge envy. We need to be willing to release emotionally anything. And when you do this, I ask you to do it in a safe place for yourself. Don't throw up on everybody else. Your shit is your shit. Your stuff is your stuff. No matter what everybody else does. You might have been hurt by another person, but how you feel and what you do with it is your responsibility. So take a sea salt bath. Meditate. Go ground in nature. Let water run through you and over you, cleaning your emotions. Use your breath and blow out anything that's not love and breathe in love. There are many different practices. You can find them in my book, Artist, Shaman, Healer, Sage, to do cleansing and to reset yourself so that you can feel the passion and the love. And if you can't, blow that stuff out, clean it out, ask for help if you need it. And know that this is your homework that's going to help you get to where you're free emotionally and to where you can navigate your life with greater love. It's what we all need. We've got a lot of toxic stuff going on, so we need to clean the waters of ourselves. All right, we've got another crone, another wisdom card. It's the Earth card. And she tells me that, it's called Ascension. And it's kind of interesting. It's an Earth card, right? So our job here on Earth is to be embodied and to wake up, to become more conscious about what's going on, and to choose wisely from a place of love, to choose wisely from all our past experiences to create a new experience. That's the alchemy card. We have the capacity to do this, that we have wisdom. Look to the elders, look to the wise ones. Look within yourself and know where you are wise. Ask for help if you can't find that. Look to Mother Earth. She naturally cleans out and transforms and creates new life. So look at how you can become wiser in your daily activities and being in your body. Take care of your body. Make your choices in your earthly life. And look for the wisdom from all you've experienced. The earth is here to teach us what is sustainable and what we need to know about life. And this card to me is turning to her and understanding what that wisdom is, turning within and finding that, looking to the elders who are teaching us now from many different nations, who have wisdom. They're not angry, they're loving beings. And they know that we need to come together to create harmony. So that's our action. All right, what if we do this? What's our outcome? Where are we headed if we will apply that to whatever our personal situations are and to what our collective situation is? Well, we got good news, folks. As crazy as it looks as we come into this new moon following the solstice, is that we're working on transmuting the junk so we can come back to delight, where we can be joyful in the light, where we can be illuminated once again. Play on words, delight. Let's come back to our creative light-filled selves. This is our destiny. This is what we're working on right now, is to move through these challenges with practice, just like you brush your teeth every day. How do you wake up with gratitude? How do you wake up with delight? How do you focus yourself in the light, clean out your emotions, become humorous, become lighthearted, know that you open to receive through your heart, have some good boundaries, and you're going to feel much better. And our world is going to look more luminous. That's what this is all about. We're cleaning our closets so we can come back to more light. It's very interesting because we also have a water card, a seas card in the outcome. And she's the mother. We had the maiden earlier. So mother is a position of maturity. And she's the one who also, this is about perception. It's a Pisces energy. And believe me, I'm a Pisces. So this is all about perception, emotional perception. Are you using your intuition? This is about moving to a more intuitive state where we can navigate through these deep waters emotionally and come out to where we can be more clear emotionally and intuitive in knowing that we can move to that place of wisdom within ourselves to perceive more clearly, not be in the murky emotions, but to actually understand what it is to perceive that energy in a higher manner. So we're going to become more intuitive, more delightful, and we're going to manifest a new reality. This is the Ace of Earth. And all the aces in the lower arcana are gifts from the angels. So we have a lot of help here to create a new reality. That manifestation card, that ace, tells me that we are bringing the light into this earth plane, no matter how messy it is. It's up to us to refocus and to do our work, to clean out our crap, and to come into the light with joy. And we're going to create a new reality. It's here for us. That's part of the promise that we're being given if we will do our work. Don't worry about all those other people too. This is up to me. This is up to you. This is up to each of us to do our best and to trust that the universe and the divine has our back. Yes, we need to take action on our dreams, our hopes, and the places where we need to heal. That ripples through the field. What if we work with our prayers, with our action, taking action, being different, and we work at harmonizing our world because we are clearing out any place where we've added anger, any place where we've been hurt or resentful. If we do our healing around that, guess what? It clears in the field. It releases others who we've been entangled with. It releases humanity from entanglements. When many of us are doing it, there's a quantum effect. So let's do this together. Let's make some changes where we bring in the light, we commit to our heart's joy, we clean up our emotional selves, we set some boundaries, and we make some choices to become more wise and to learn from what is upon this planet so that we can be the blessing. So I hope this helps you with whatever's going on in your life with this new moon energy. These new moon energies are great for setting goals, for setting intentions for what you're moving toward. But it's also, as you move into something new, the old is being released. So do your work on whatever you're releasing and keep your eye on the goal. Keep your eye filled with light and your heart full of as much love as you can. And forgive where you can. And know that we're redreaming our reality. From Katherine Skaggs and the Mythical Goddess Tarot, lots of love to you. And may this bring a blessing into your life.